Recently, I wrote about a viral video from Chuuk that captured intense emotions and raised serious concerns. Like many across our islands, I was struck by what the footage appeared to show. It seemed connected to Governor Alexander Naroon's swearing in and was interpreted by many, myself included, as an attack on the Senate President during that historic moment. But as it often does, the truth proved to be more layered than what first met the eye. Recently, I was humbled to be contacted by a high official in our government who shared important context surrounding the situation. After listening carefully and weighing the information, it became pretty clear. The incident outside the Chuuk Legislative Building was not connected to the governor's re-election or inauguration at all. Instead, it stemmed from local tensions surrounding a special election in the Chuuk region. Our frustrations erupted after a candidate was certified by an unofficial election commissioner. The police presence outside the legislative building that day was due to the declaration of emergency issued in relation to the swearing-in ceremony, not because of the Chuuk election dispute. It was a case of very bad timing, or very good timing, depending on how you look at it. Either way, blows were exchanged and blood was unfortunately shed, something that was both unnecessary and regrettable. Now, let's be honest, Chuuk has had ongoing challenges with elections. These tensions are not new, and they deserve serious, sustained attention. However, while the imagery was powerful and emotional, it is important to be precise. The incident in question was not about the governor. It was about deeper electoral grievances at the local level. As the situation continued to unfold, another development raised significant questions about leadership, protocol, and national unity. A letter from Congresswoman Senator Perpetua Conlon emerged, addressed not to the President of the FSM, but directly to the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, seeking international assistance to intervene in Chuuk's internal matters. In a previous blog, I asked, "Where is the president?" Not as a taunt or an act of disrespect, but because it struck me as concerning and a bit odd that a sitting member of Congress would bypass the head of state, the highest constitutional office in our nation, when seeking outside help in matters of sovereignty. Protocol matters. International intervention in domestic affairs is usually a tool of last resort. It signals a breakdown of confidence in internal governance. The Secretary of Foreign Affairs responded with respect, affirming the concerns raised, while also reinforcing that the national government is closely monitoring the situation. Still, the choice to bypass the president speaks volumes about trust, about frustration, and perhaps about broader systemic issues that many outside Chuuk and even outside the FSM may not fully see. I am told that what we are witnessing in Chuuk today is merely the visible tip of a much deeper iceberg, one rooted in political and financial shifts dating back to the FSM Constitutional Convention. Before those amendments, the national government controlled significant revenue from fishing licensing fees, totaling more than $60 million annually. After the amendments forced revenue sharing with the states, the financial landscape changed dramatically. Now, why does this matter? Because those funds were informally but critically used to support public projects that help leaders show tangible results to their communities, and in many cases help them build and maintain political support. According to my source in the government, there have been no public projects in the last year in Chuuk. This absence is being felt across communities, where constituents are used to seeing some visible signs of progress: new roads, classrooms, sea walls, or solar lights, particularly in election cycles. Without that same level of discretionary funding, the balance of power and influence has shifted. Political dynamics have evolved, and expectations that had been built over decades are now colliding with new fiscal realities. So, what is happening in Chuuk today is not just about one election. It's about long-standing structural tensions between states and the national government, between old expectations and new realities, between governance and influence. Leadership in these times demands more than reacting to viral videos. It requires understanding the deeper forces at play, asking uncomfortable questions, and respecting the structures that hold our nation together, even when those structures feel strained. It is encouraging and necessary that government officials are willing to engage, provide answers, and offer clarity when questions are raised. That builds confidence. More importantly, it builds trust. In small nations like ours, trust is not a luxury, it is a foundation. When citizens and leaders can openly communicate, when clarification is offered rather than withheld, our democracy grows stronger. Micronesia is a young nation, yes, that's true, and it's still shaping its identity. Our strength must come from transparency, accountability, and unity, not quick fixes or short term reactions. At the end of the day, I stand by my president and my country, always with respect for the leadership that guides us, but with that respect comes a duty to seek accountability. For our leaders, our public servants entrusted with the welfare of our people, it is not only my right, but my responsibility to ask questions that help ensure transparency, integrity, and progress for the benefit of all. If asking brings us even one step closer to the truth, then my friends, we are moving in the right direction.